The afternoon sun over Ouagadougou burned hot and heavy, pressing its weight down on the streets and the people who bustled through them. The capital of Burkina Faso was alive with its usual rhythm. Children weaving through the market, vendors shouting the prices of mangoes and groundnuts, motorbikes zipping past with a trail of dust. Amid the chaos, a convoy of military trucks slowly made its way through the narrow lanes, drawing attention from everyone. It wasn't every day that the president himself chose to walk among his people. Ibrahim Traoré had always believed leadership was not about distance, but presence. For him, it meant stepping down from podiums, stepping into streets, listening, and acting when no one expected it. That day, dressed simply in a light uniform with the sleeves rolled up, he moved with little security around him. He wanted people to feel his humanity, not the shadow of power. The crowd pressed closer as he passed, people waving, calling his name. Some thanked him, others voiced their complaints, but all eyes followed him. Just as his convoy neared a dusty junction, the atmosphere shifted. A scream tore through the noise. A young woman, heavily pregnant, stumbled forward from the crowd. Her face was pale, lips cracked, and her hands clutched her swollen belly. She looked as though she had been running for miles. Gasps erupted from the people around her as she collapsed onto the ground, dust rising around her fragile frame. "Ibrahim, help!" someone shouted instinctively, though the man they called was already moving. Without hesitation, Ibrahim rushed forward, his boots kicking up dirt. He knelt beside the woman, gently lifting her shoulders. Her breathing was shallow, and sweat drenched her forehead. "My child, please, help," she whispered in a trembling voice. The soldiers tried to form a protective circle, but Ibrahim waved them aside. "Clear the way. We need a car, now," he ordered, his tone sharp yet filled with urgency. The market women gathered closer, murmuring prayers, some fanning the woman with their wrappers. A young boy, no more than 10, tugged at Ibrahim's sleeve. "Monsieur, that is my sister. She was on her way to the hospital, but the taxis would not stop. She has been walking since morning." Ibrahim's heart clenched. This was not just a medical emergency, it was a reflection of the very struggles he had promised to fight. The neglect, the poverty, the endless burdens carried by ordinary people. He turned to the boy and placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Don't worry, she is safe now. I will not let anything happen to her." A truck from the convoy was brought forward, its back cleared instantly. Carefully, Ibrahim and 2 others lifted the woman inside. She cried out in pain, gripping his arm tightly, her nails digging into his skin, but he didn't flinch. He stayed beside her, speaking softly. "Breathe with me, in and out. You are strong, and so is your child. We will reach the hospital soon." The engine roared to life, and the truck lurched forward, racing through the streets. Sirens wailed ahead as motorcycles cut a path through the traffic. Inside, Ibrahim kept the woman's head cradled in his lap, wiping her face with his handkerchief. She clutched it like it was her lifeline. The boy sat close, tears streaking his dusty cheeks. "Will my sister live?" he asked in a choked whisper. Ibrahim looked into his eyes and answered firmly, "Yes, she will live, both of them." Minutes felt like hours, but finally they reached the city hospital. Doctors and nurses rushed out, startled to see the president himself leap from a truck, carrying a patient in his arms. There was no hesitation in him, no care for protocol or image. He simply shouted, "She needs help immediately." The medical team took over, rolling the woman into the emergency ward. Ibrahim remained at the door, his shirt stained with dust and sweat, his hands trembling from the intensity of the moment. The boy clung to his side, refusing to let go. "Stay with us, please," he begged. And so he did. For nearly an hour, Ibrahim waited in the hallway, speaking with the boy, comforting him, listening to his stories about their village and how the family had struggled ever since their father passed. He learned how the woman had sold fruits in the market every day, even while carrying a child, to keep her younger brother fed. When the doctor finally emerged, smiling, the tension broke. "She is stable. The baby is healthy. You brought her just in time." The crowd outside the hospital cheered when they heard the news. Women ululated, men clapped, and children danced in relief. The boy threw his arms around Ibrahim, sobbing into his chest. He didn't think of cameras or headlines. In that moment, he was simply a man who had been given the chance to protect life, and he had taken it. Later, when the woman awoke, she asked for the man who had stayed by her side. Ibrahim stepped quietly into her room, his expression gentle. She tried to sit up, tears filling her eyes. "You are alive, and so is your child," he said softly. "That is what matters." She reached for his hand, gripping it weakly. "I don't have words. You are not only a leader, you are a brother." He smiled. "I am nothing more than a fellow human. Promise me you will rest and raise your child with love. That will be enough thanks for me." As he left the hospital, the sun was setting, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson. The streets buzzed with the story of what had happened, not of a president surrounded by guards, but of a man who had knelt in the dust to save a mother and child. In the days that followed, the tale spread across villages and cities alike. Some called it heroism, others humanity. But for Ibrahim, it was neither. It was simply the duty of one person to another, the kind of duty he wished the whole nation could live by. Because in the end, leadership was not about speeches or titles. It was about moments like these, where saving a single life meant saving hope itself.
If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories of courage, kindness, and humanity to life.